Monday morning, guys. Good morning. I'm fired up today. We're going to talk about something that has been on my mind for a while. I've had agents call me up last week and kind of like, you know how things just happen. Joe, I'm here and I want to think about it. Joe, I can't afford it. Joe, I don't know what's wrong. So today I want to go over one rebuttal that is kind of like universal in all sales. And that is, I want to think about it. I want to think about it. And I get to a point to where I actually want to strangle people, and I know damn good and well you guys want to do the exact same thing. When you're in there, you feel you gave them the proper pitch, satisfied them, gone over everything, and they want to sit and think about it. And there's days, I'm going to tell you again, I just want to sit and just choke them, and I just don't understand why. So today I'm going to go over some things that I feel that are going to help all of us as we're making a presentation to have the client gravitate towards us and want to say yes when we go over the ideas and the programs for them. In sales, it all starts with the initial connection you make with that client. It's got to be mustard and mayonnaise, peanut butter and jelly. 95% of the time, it must blend right from the beginning. Some houses I've gone into and I feel like I'm in left field. I'm just talking, yet I'm going through my process, yet I don't think the client is with me, and I'm trying to bring them in, and I've made a sale before. Normally, you got to connect, keep them close to your web, involve them in the conversation to where they feel they're helping make the decision on what they want. Now, when you go to a door or you're on the phone with somebody, you need to find out the reason they sent the card in. You got to know why they want this information. And the reason why it's so important for you to ask them that question is because you're going to use that at the end when you're telling them this is the programs that I've designed especially for you because you sent this card in for this reason. Now, excuse my cough. What ends up happening is that buyers will give us buying signals. So what we do without realizing it is that we start deviating, shortcutting, skirt tailing our presentation because we think that they've really connected and they're going to buy. I'll give you one example. Hold on a minute. I'll give you one example. Went to a lady's house a long time ago. She gave me every buying signal I wanted. Every single thing. She says, yes is what I want. Yes, I can afford it. Yes. I'm talking to her, and at the end she says she wants to think about it. And the definition, as I say, like a deer in headlights, that was me. What I did not do is that I did not totally listen to her. That's the most important thing is you must listen to what the client says, either remember it or make some notes as you're going through. And she said she wanted to think about it. And I said, ma'am, you've told me this is something you wanted, it's something you needed. You said you can afford it. Yet, I don't understand why you're telling me now you want to think about it. Do you mind if I can just be straightforward with you and ask you, why do you want to think about it? She says, well, I wanted a policy for $10,000 and you only showed me one for $4, $5, and $6. Now, when I got into business like close to 26 years ago, I was told, I was programmed, 4, 5, or 6,000 is all you needed for a funeral, and that was so back then. So what we've learned over time is that we must give people additional items to think about. 7, 9, 10, 12, 15,000. Pick out whatever you want to show, but give them more than what you feel they need and want. 99% of the time, 50% of the time, they want to think about it because they may not have that total trust in you. You may not have hit it off. The other 50% could be the premiums you're showing them or a little bit over what they want to pay for. Yet what we have to do when we go into a house is not to assume the sale automatically. We got to have the eye of the tiger. You got to have that tiger blood to constantly be asking them, is this something? Am I answering your questions correctly? Do you feel I'm going down the right path to accomplish the goals that you have? What I'm going to do, I'm going to go over some different programs and ideas for you, and I'm going to let you pick out the one that's best for you. Do you have any questions? You must ask the client open-ended questions to where they start talking with you. As a salesperson, we feel we must dominate the conversation and the presentation. Yet the word is that we must exercise the rule that they are allowed to speak with us while we're doing the presentation, to where they feel that they have some hands in the decision. Because if you go over the entire program, you tell them, okay, we've got one for 10, 12, 15, 18, and 20. Which one fits your budget best? Their thought process could be, I didn't get to ask any questions. He just kept on talking. He interrupted me. So what happens is that we do not know what that client is thinking. So what we have to do is listen and read their body language. This is why I am a proponent of door-to-door, face-to-face, because I want to see them. I want to see if they're squirming around, they're playing with their clothes. I want to read them. I want to feel them when I'm speaking with them, because that's going to allow me to kind of switch a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right, to make them feel comfortable. Because you know as well as I, when you're speaking to somebody and they're looking out in left field and they're going, that does make sense, and they're picking up a piece of paper and reading it, you must understand that you don't have their attention. If you do not capture their attention on the reason you were there, and the purpose of you being there is to help them, provide them, comfort them with a program to where their loved ones are not left responsible for, you've lost it. You have actually blown the whole deal. You must tell them before they tell you, I want to think about it. Because I want to think about it, it's going to come up even if they can't afford it. Because people think if I want to think about it, you're going to say, okay, I've got one for cheaper. Now, right when you go in the house, you got to blend with that person. Shake their hand. Hello, how you doing? A pleasure meeting you. Appreciate you taking time out of your day to visit with me. I apologize for knocking on the door unexpectedly, yet I'm glad you're here. I'm here to go over what you sent this card in for. Hand the card. What did you send the card in for? Well, I just wanted some information. That doesn't mean start talking. Information about what? Can I ask what information you were trying to find out? Well, I kind of want to see what it would cost. Okay. That's a very good question because everybody's on a budget, and I totally understand. Yet, do you have any programs set up for you now? No, I do not. So as we're going through the thought process in our mind, and we're thinking about how we're going to deliver it to the person, we've always got to be closing, finding out information to get them closer and closer and closer, to where if you don't ask them if they have a program in force already, and at the end of the conversation you say which one should you want to start today, they may say, I've already got something in place. Yet if you've asked that question before, they can't use that as a rebuttal. Normally, as I said, it's not that they don't trust you, is that they don't really feel comfortable to trust you to take the money out of their pocket. This is what they're doing. They're taking it out of their pocket, but you've got to give them a reason to pull that. They don't want to pull that money out. When they pull the money out, that means they're going to give it to you to do the deal. But if you can't get that money out of their pocket or give them that warm, fuzzy feeling that what you're there for is the best thing for them, you're not going to succeed in any sales job you have. You're just not going to do it. Now, you're going to get what we call the lay downs, where they're to say, yes, I want it. Yeah, I'll buy that one there. Yes. It's happened to me. It's happened to you guys. And if you just started with us and you just started in sales, it's going to happen to you too. That doesn't mean that you're Joey Salesman or you're Jack the sales guy. It means you just got lucky. I still get lucky. Experienced agents still get lucky, thinking they're never going to buy it. I want that one for $20,000, and you look at yourself and you go, I don't believe this. I want you guys to do a couple of things to hopefully alleviate the I want to think about it. And I'm going to go over in a minute of things that I do when they say that. Yet leading up to that, you got to learn how to tap those brakes, talk a little bit slower. You got to start practicing what we call as voice inflection. And that means to emphasize certain words that when you're speaking with somebody, those words kind of, you hit them a little bit. You got to be eventful so you can ask them questions and you're going to allow them to answer the questions. You're going to do everything in your power not to interrupt. A lot of people in sales are excited, they get eager, they taste that money, and the ADD kicks in and we want to talk because we're afraid if we don't ask that question right then and there, we're going to forget it. And you do. I got ADHD. Okay, I got it. I know I have it. So since I know I have it, and I know most of you guys have it, when there's a question you want to ask and you don't want to interrupt, take a second, look down, write a couple words down that are going to ding, ding, ding when you look down to ask that question. Because one of the rudest things to do is to interrupt somebody, especially somebody you're going to ask for money. Slow down, tap the brakes. And what I'm asking you guys to do is have a pattern, incorrect word, have a list, a routine of how you're going to ask these questions. And when you go by this list of questions that you're going to ask, it's going to actually pigeonhole them to where they can't say anything but okay. Now, a lot of times they'll say okay, yet they really can't afford it. And some of the people we deal with just can't afford it, and they do want it. So I'm going to tell you one thing right now, but this is not the purpose of the call. You lower your premiums. You lower your premiums. Yet when you're with somebody and they tell you they want to think about it, that does not mean, oh, do you want something less expensive? No, that's not what it means. What it means is that you have not given them enough valuable information to where they feel comfortable in their heart and soul to say, yes, Joe, I want to take the money out of my pocket and I want to give it to you. And that comes with practice, guys. I still mess up. I've gone to houses, been doing it for over 25 years, and I still mess up because I get excited. I want a shortcut. I want to deviate. As you become more experienced, you start realizing that when you do not follow the list of questions and the proper way to ask questions, you're not going to make a sale. So you need to slow down. Now, you're going to go through the entire process. The reason they sent the card in is because they don't want to leave their loved ones burdened with the expenses. You're going to go over with them. You might have done the price point selling with them, and they say they can afford $60, $70. Okay? So you know the reason why. You know the amount they want to spend. You've verified that they want a final expense policy. You've asked the health questions. You've actually pre-screened them, told them this is what you qualify for. What I see happening more so now, because I've got my clients calling me, okay, and saying, Joe, I want to add to my policy. Joe, can you come to my house? Joe, can we do it on the phone? And I still handle them like a little dove, even though they trust me, they know me, I've got all their information. You must go into a little bit of detail how the program works before you ask how the program, which one you want. What a lot of people think is that there's a 2-year waiting period. What happens is that other carriers that we do not represent do not give clients immediate benefits on, for example, if you're on a blood thinner, don't care how long it's been, COPD, emphysema, lupus, Parkinson's, a TIA last month. There's carriers out there who will make that modified or do not submit, or maybe even a graded. Since we offer you different carriers that can give your client immediate benefits, you need to know that in the back of your mind. So when you're speaking with them, as you're going through the presentation, and they tell you, I have COPD, and you ask them, well, can I ask why you didn't get a policy before? Well, it had a waiting period. I didn't want to wait for 2 years. I want immediate benefits. Now what you got to do, instead of just getting all excited and start jumping around and saying, I got something, kind of go back, if you said it already, and if you haven't, say something. I'm an independent broker, represent a lot of companies, and based on your COPD or your emphysema or your Parkinson's, I've got carriers that will give you immediate benefits with no waiting period. Give them an example what that means. Because if you don't clarify how it works, that is going to lead to, I want to think about it, because you haven't given them all the information they need to make a sale. For you to make a sale, excuse me. People that we deal with are on a fixed income. Almost everyone we deal with lives on a Social Security check. Some may get a little pension. Some may have a little part-time job. In my mind, I treat everybody as if they're going to spend $100 a month with me. I treat them that they're the players of all players. Because I don't want to go in and undersell myself. Because you and I both know when you go over some different ideas with them, you can always come down if they can't afford it. Yet if you only show something to here and you don't show something higher, I like the sticker shock. I got no problem showing a 75-year-old lady her premiums for $25,000 is going to be $210. I got no problem with that. Because when you show that high premium, then you come down to one for $8,000, $9,000 for only $57. That's kind of like a bargain to them. So our game is a psychological game to politely convince them and tell them and make them feel that you're the best of the best. You've done all the shopping for them. They don't have to look nowhere else. And the reason I say that is because people in their minds say, I want to think about it, because they want to shop your price. They may feel your price is too high. They could have had insurance before, lapsed 6-7 years ago, so no matter what you show them today, it's going to cost more. You need to make sure. I've been in business for X amount of years. I'm an independent broker. I get almost everybody I deal with immediate benefits. Most of the time, the people I deal with will have no waiting period. Okay, I've got to ask you some health questions. Our company has done all the shopping around for you. So I represent the top companies in our area who are going to get you the best program available for the least expensive price available. So you don't have to do no shopping around. We've already done that for you. That's my job. Our job together is to sit and visit. Let me see what company, what carrier that I can qualify you for. And the more information I ask and you give me, I'm going to be able to save you more money. You're on a budget, aren't you? Yes, I am. I said, well, my job today is not to take all your money. My job is to get you a program that you can afford, feel comfortable with, to where when that sad day comes, not your beneficiary, your wife Marie, your daughter Francine, your son Anthony are taken care of. Is that what you're looking for today? Yes. That's your goal, is to find something that you can afford to make sure they're not devastated by not having any money to take care of your funeral. Yes. Now, what I've done is that I've told them all the things that I need to know to where at the end they can't say, I want to think about it. Now, when somebody tells me that they want to think about it, I sit and I do an auto rewind. Did I do this, and this? And it's okay to stop and think. You don't have to be a motor mouth and constantly be moving your lips. You can think for a second and say, did I say no waiting period? Did I say I don't need any money today, it can start next month? Did I tell them there's no blood work needed? Did I tell them how simple it is? We'll go on the computer, get them approved right then and there. So you need to ask yourself, am I going down the step-by-step process to where each time I say something, I'm getting them in a little bit closer? Because the closer you get them into you, and the more times they say yes, yes is something I want, yes, I think I can afford that, yes, I want to put my daughter, yes, I want to put my son as a beneficiary. Every time you get them to say yes, 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 hopefully when it comes the bottom of the fourth quarter, they say that's what I want. Now, they're going to tell you, I want to think about it. Now, depends on how your day is, how many sales you made, what type of relations you have, how bold you want to be. And they tell you, Jack, I kind of want to think about it. I may say, I totally understand, yet may I ask you, what do you want to think about? Don't talk. You have just hit them right in the jaw, because now you're putting them in a spot to find out what they want to think about. Well, I'm not too sure if I want to start this today. Okay. Is there something I did not say, or something that I said that you don't understand, that is preventing you from picking one of these plans I especially designed for you? They're going to tell you, well, I can't afford it. I need a bill I've got to pay, which that's the one I love to hear. I got a bill I got to pay. Or I was just checking prices out. Our game as salespeople, the game does not start until they give you a rebuttal. Anybody can give information. Doggone 5-year-old kid can tell them level premiums, level fees, cash value. Anybody can say that there. It's the inflection and the compassion you have when you're speaking with them to make a decision like that. It's hard for people to talk about it. For me to talk about somebody passing away, it doesn't bother me, because I've been doing it for a long time. It doesn't bother me to say, you know something, there's only one guarantee in life. And that guarantee is one day you're going to die, and so am I. So the beauty about me being here today is I can make your loved one's sadness be a little bit softer, designing you a program that fits in your budget to where they've got some money to take care of your expenses. Because Mr. Jones, you said you want to think about this here. And I understand. I've been doing this for over 25 years. And there's things I want to think about also when I go to buy something. But the small question you need to ask yourself, do you as a loving father, grandfather, or spouse want to make out a small amount every month? Or do you want your wife Francine, your daughter Marie, your son Anthony to make a big check out when you pass away? Are they going to be able to afford that big check? Because through our conversations, said you have no money in savings, or you have very little in savings. Your children are not making as much money as what they did before. and you did not want to burden them with this expense. Yeah, I still want to think about it. I still want to think about it. You know, I don't know. I may say then, so is what is preventing you from starting a program today, is it one of these programs I've showed you? Don't talk. Because when you open up your big mouth after you ask a direct question, you're probably not going to make that sale because you feel bad asking them a direct question. They may say, yes, Joe, I just can't afford this. So now you don't say, well, let me bring up my calculator and show you something cheaper. Now you're going to go into the price point selling. Let's say the lowest one is $57 for $10,000. 57 and change for 10, and they can't afford it. What I do, instead of showing them a 9, an 85, and an 8, I'm going to say, what do you feel comfortable sending in to give you this peace of mind? What amount? They're going to say, Joe, I can't afford a dime over $45. Okay? They just sold themselves. You took them down that yellow brick road, and they said $45. Say, I understand. Now you go to your calculator, okay, and you see 8,000 is 4607. You push it for $1, or do you go to 4377 for 7,000? That's your choice. That's a choice you got to make because you're the one sitting in the hot seat. I can tell you what to do, yet I'm not sitting there with you. I don't know what relationship you have. People send these cards in because, believe it or not, they do want to buy something. They don't understand how it works. They don't understand the process behind it. They don't understand how fast their loved ones get the money. So these are things you must discuss with them throughout your presentation. That's a call for another day. Now, they're going to tell you, Joe, you did a great job. If I'm going to buy, I'm going to buy it from you. You know, you did an awesome, you explained everything so good, I want to think about it. So I said, okay, the smoke and mirrors are going up. They want to be nice to me to where I leave. I'm not going nowhere. I'm not going nowhere. What I'm going to do is that I'm going to lead them to believe I'm packing up my bag. Because I want them to lower that guard because I'm going to come in for a left jab. I'm coming in hard. I've been there 45 minutes. I know they need it. They give me all the buying signals. I start putting my stuff in my briefcase, all that stuff there. And what we call is the doorknob close. Right before you go to walk out, you say, you know something? I've been doing this for 25 years. Can I ask you a direct question? Yes. Can I ask you what you really are thinking about? So I can write a little note. What are you really thinking about? They may tell you the price is too high. You didn't tell me how to make the payments. I don't know if I'm getting immediate benefits. You really didn't tell me much about the company. When they say that there, they've just given you the answer of what they want to think about. That doesn't mean that you're supposed to smother them and jump on them and say, okay, I got all the answers. Take a soft step backwards and say, you know something, I want to apologize for me not doing and telling you exactly your concerns. What I'm going to do, I'm going to sit back down, explain it to you, and then we're going to see which one you want to start today. Now, the word today, the word important, the word, and my mind just went blank, the word trust have all got to be together. If you come across polite, you're talking slower, you're going to get less I want to think about it. What I recommend you to do, and I've said this 700 times, you as a sales agent are sitting in the house all by yourself. You may be with your manager, maybe riding with another agent, but probably 90% of the time you're there by yourself. You cannot score your presentation because it's kind of hard to look inside and outside and figure out what you did wrong, what you did right, what you need help on. I'm asking you guys to record yourself in the house. That's right, record yourself. Go to your voice memo on an iPhone. Record yourself to see if you're speaking with commission breath, which means you're too aggressive because you've made no sales. Are you using voice inflection? Are you interrupting the person? Are you explaining how the process works? Have you told them that when that sad day comes, that you go to the funeral home and they'll take care of everything for you? Have you told them that stuff? Have you told them that when that sad day comes, you will be there to hold Anthony's hand, Marie's hand, your wife's hand, your husband's hand? Have you told them that? Have you given them that warm, fuzzy feeling in their stomach that you're the one who's going to carry their family through that hard time? Because if you don't, you're not going to make any sales. I started something today that I'm going to start speaking more forward to you guys. Because when you call me and you tell me, Joe, this, and I ask you, and you say, Joe, I didn't. Oh, Joe, I forgot. It doesn't make me mad. What it does is that it makes me take a soft step backwards to say, am I coaching you guys the right way? Am I pushing you the right way? Am I training you the right way? And then most importantly, are you guys practicing? You gotta practice. You just don't wake up, play a little bit of little league ball, and think you're going to be the starter in your high school baseball team. It's not going to happen. You got to go through all the steps: little league, pony league, colt league, intramural games. You got to go through this process to where you become better. Don't wake up and become a stud. In my mind, I think I am, but yet when I walk out and I'll have no sales, I'm saying, Joe, what are you doing wrong? If you record yourself, you can see exactly what you're doing wrong. Record yourself. Okay, I'm going to end it. I want to think about it. It can be a lot of different things. I recommend you to find out exactly what they sent the card in for. Find out if they have any other coverage. If they did or did not, why they don't have it. Do they have any money in savings? Who's going to be responsible for them when they pass away? Who's going to be in charge? Who's going to be your beneficiary? When they say that name, you're going to switch it from beneficiary to that person's name, because now you're making it more personal. Because when you hear your daughter, bam, your son, bam, will be responsible, you're hitting another little part in their heart to where they don't want that child or that spouse to suffer. Are you tapping the brakes and going a little bit slower? Are you explaining how your program works? Have you told them about you? Have you told them how the program works, that when they pass, this is what happens? Have you told them how easy it is to set up a program like this here? Do you tell them that they will pick out the premiums that they want? Do you tell them that they're going to be in charge? You need to ask yourself these questions here. So I recommend you to go on YouTube, because it's live right now. We're live on YouTube. Go back and listen to this stuff. Go back and listen to what I'm saying. Write this stuff down. Because you know something, guys? My name. Back here, I've got all my notes. You can read it this way, you can. But when you're sitting in front of somebody, the notes are upside down. They can't read what you have written down. Every one of you has potential. Every one of you can be the top of the leaderboard. The question I ask you is, how bad do you want it? Can you taste it? Because when you start tasting it and you get that feeling of success in your heart and stomach, you're going to take yourself to limits you've never seen before. And that just comes from practicing and having guts to do it the right way. Okay, guys, I'm going to let you go. We love you, appreciate you. If you got any questions, call us. Hit them hard. If you need leads, call Heather. You need information about a new carrier, get with Jay. If you're unsure how to work the back office or the mobile rate calculator, get with Sierra. And we're always here for you guys. Appreciate you. Be safe. Bye-bye.